say good morning and welcome, parents.
Good morning, welcome, parents.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. I know you came out in this rain. I appreciate your support. I know the kids really look forward to having you guys here, so thank you so much. So the purpose of asking for the parents to come in, boys and girls, is to talk about multiplication. So every day, I know the parents see this multiplication and math facts that go home every day. Why do we really stress about how important it is to know your multiplication facts? Hakeem?
Because when you go to fourth grade, they're going to tell you multiplication every day.
You're going to have multiplication every day. Good. Ariella?
Because when you get older, you might work at your jobs, and sometimes when you work at your jobs, you need to use calculations to help do the devices
Good.
or cash registers.
Okay, good. And how do we usually start our math lessons? Doing what kind of math? Gail?
Or mental math.
Good. Why do we do mental math?
Because we do mental math to use 2 times, like times numbers and stuff.
Okay, good. What else, Evan?
We use mental math so we could do times in our brain instead of having paper and pen.
Okay, do we only see math in the classroom?
No.
Where do we see math? Ryan? Stores. Where else? Hakeem?
Supermarket.
Supermarket. I think Michaela said it pretty good. Where do we see math?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, right? So you're driving down the street, you see math, and you might need to do mental math, right? Because are you always going to have pen and paper in your hand? No. So the importance of knowing your multiplication facts is because no matter what calculation you're going to do, probably multiplication is going to come into it. Okay? So that's why by the time you leave third grade, you need to know multiplication like this. Just as fast as you spell your name, you should be able to recall that you can think and say your multiplication facts just as fast as you know how to write your name. Okay? So now we're going to show our parents how well the good listener we are. Ooh. As I go through this real quick. All right, so multiplication fluency. So first of all, the reason why we do it, it's not a Gregory School thing. It's a Common Core standard. So Common Core means it's common around the country. So it's what kids are doing in Long Branch, it's what kids are doing in California, it's what kids are doing in Texas, in third grade across the United States. All children need to know their multiplication like this. So if I say 9 times 6, you should be able to tell me right away that it's 63, right? So
1963.
not 54. It'd be good if Miss Santos knew it.
6 times.
Okay, yes, good job, Michaela.
Yes.
So the fluency of multiplication and division, all children need to know how to divide and multiply within 100 using different strategies as relationships between multiplication and division. So the children should know that 8 times 5 equals 40, and they should also know that 40 divided by 5 would equal 8. Okay, so we call that the turn around facts, and overall, I think all our kids understand that. By the end of third grade, they need to know from memory all the product of the 2 one-digit numbers. So basically from 1 to 10 at least, they should know how to recall the multiplication facts. Okay, why is fluency so important? It's the building block for higher level math concepts. So first we start off with introducing the multiplications, and then using those facts, they should be able to help them to telling time, counting money, measurement, long multiplication and division, are just a few of the concepts that they're going to come across. Fluency will also help them to be better equipped to solve them more quickly. So in 4th, 5th grade, and so on, they're going to have bigger concepts, bigger problems to solve. And if they're spending a lot of time trying to recall their multiplication, it kind of makes them lose focus on the rest of the problem, and that's where the children make errors. Would you go away, please? Under your desk, under your chair. Thank you, Gail. Okay, educators and cognitive psychologists agree that the ability to recall basic math fact fluency is necessary for children to obtain the higher order math skills. So that's where that critical thinking math skills comes into play. Okay, so like we said before, math is everywhere. Grocery stores, menus, gas stations, how to read the temperatures, reading the clock, speedometers, a scale. And then the last thing is challenge your kids to find math everywhere they go. Anywhere you go, you find something that has numbers in it, turn it into some kind of math facts. And then I listed some examples. So this is just random examples that I found. So if you see an Arizona iced tea and it says 2 for $5, we can turn that around. How many Arizonas can we buy with $20 bill?
5.
Okay, I'm not gonna have us answer because I want everybody to do centers.
Yeah.
But just examples of what kind of questions you could ask. So we need enough muffins for 16 people. How many packages do I need if 4 come in a package? So these are kind of the questions that we could ask our kids. How many brownie pieces are there? So this is an array where the kid should be able to say that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They should be able to multiply it to get the answer. So finding arrays, egg cartons, soda bottles, the cans, all those are arrays they can multiply. Breakfast menu. So if we're looking at a box of 50 Munchkins and they're $7.99, are they able to estimate that to figure out the cost of how much would it cost to buy 3 boxes of Munchkins? Okay, and then here comes the fun part. Multiplication. So I'm not going to spend too much time, but I just wanted to show the parents that this is what we're learning right now. It's probably different than the way, I know it's different than how I was taught multiplication. So this is called partial product algorithm. The method of multiplication that focuses on the value of each digit on your factors. So for example, with 583 times 4, the children are told to look at the number's place value. So they're going to multiply 4 times, what number is that, boys and girls?
5.
Is it 5 or
500.
Excellent, 500. So they know that 500 times 4 would equal 2,000. Then they would go on to this side, and this would equal 4 times what number?
800.
No?
80.
What place value is that?
80. It's
80, good. And then we would do the ones place, 4 times 3.
3.
And 12. Then the children are told to line up the numbers to get the total. So it's more steps than how we learned it, but it's so that the children understand the place values of the numbers. So I know this came home for homework the other day. Okay, and then there's John Marlo, Gail, ready? Okay. So then the other method of multiplication is called the lattice method, which I will show you on this clip. So this is something we haven't taught yet that's coming up in the next 2 lessons.
What?
Once done, we add our problem, 45 times 76. Next, we multiply. 7 times 5, 35. 6 times 5, 30. 7 times 4, 28. 6 times 4, 24. Our multiplication complete, we add 1, 0, 10. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. Save our 100 for later, record. Move our hundreds to the hundreds column. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 8, 12. Save our thousands for later. 2 plus 2, 4. Record. Move our thousands to the thousands column. 1 plus 2 is 3. Record. The product of 45 and 76, 3,420.
None of that. Either. You got that right. I know.
So, just so that you know, this is not Miss Santos' way of, this is not something that
Hi, this is Julie Harlan, and I'm your math counselor.
Somebody was talking.
Again, this is not, this is not like something that I choose. This is part of the Common Core. They just want the children to be introduced to this. So once they know the lattice method and the partial product, we do also teach.
Nobody else came.
Thank you. Take a seat.
Wow.
They just want the children to understand the different processes, and then they can choose whichever way they want to do it. And they don't have to do it this way, as long as they understand the way how to do it, they can do it whichever way they want to do it. Okay? All right, so then I have some multiplication websites that I know I gave out at conferences as well. So these are just some of the websites that the children can go on to practice their math facts. Do you have any questions, either one? Okay. So usually when we start out our math lesson, it's a little bit different today, because usually we do a mental math and we introduce a new strategy, a new lesson, and then we usually break out into centers. So that's what I have here. For today, what I did was introduce some of the centers that could be done at home, using things that you have at home. So like you see, I brought the Connect 4 game. You can turn any board game into a multiplication. This is something new for them, so we're going to see how they like it. So I will introduce the centers, and then you guys can partake in the centers with Amy and Jen. Okay, so the first center is called Knock It Off. And what they do is they need the dice, and you're going to roll the dice. Now this calls for a 12-digit dice. I know at home I don't have a 12-digit dice, so I just use the 2 together, and then we alternate. So for the first round, I would roll both of them together. The second round, you would roll 1. Because what the object of the game is, if I'm doing times 9, I'm going to roll the dice. Whatever number I get, I'm going to times it by 9, and then I'm going to put a chip. So if I get 18 and Michaela goes, and she gets 18, she takes my chip off and puts hers. At the end, it's whoever covers the board is the one that wins the game. Okay? So there's chips in here. The next center is the tablets. And I have this website, and I'm going to give you a copy of the PowerPoint. The children can go on here, and they compete against other people. Now, I can actually go and create games and invite people. So if I were going to play with these 4 children, I can actually assign the game to them, and they would be competing against each other. And for time's sake, they're just going to compete randomly with random people. I'm going to wait till it's quiet. Okay? So with this, they're just going to go in and they're going to play Grand Prix. So it's a race car, and they just have to answer the multiplications. The good thing about this is at the end of the race, it obviously tells you what place you came in, but it also tells you their accuracy. So how many questions did they answer? How many did they answer correctly? So this is good. You can sign up at home and make an account at home. I also sign all the children up in the classroom, but if you want to have your own account. This center here is obviously connect 4.
Yes.
So the object is to get 4 in a row. And what they're going to do is, I wrote math facts on the other side of the chips. So when you lay them out, you're going to lay them face down. And before you can place your chip, you have to
Answer it.
answer it. If you answer it correctly, then you can put it in. If you don't put it in, if you don't answer it correctly, then you lose a turn and the next player goes. Okay? And then this center here is, you can play this various ways. For today, I did speed drills. So what you do is you would divide the cards up into 2 people. And then you would each flip 1 card. Whoever answers, you multiply them together. Whoever answers first gets the cards. Whoever can get rid of all the cards, whoever has all the cards at the end is the winner. Okay? But you can also do war with this. So you each take 2 cards, multiply them together. Whoever has the highest collects the cards, which that we've done here. The speed one we didn't do yet. So we'll practice that.
I like this one.
Any questions on any of the centers?
No, not really.
Okay, so I'm going to put the timer on and we'll try to do 10 minutes in each so that you can all practice. All right, so put the timer on.
Me and Ariel have to play because they're too boxes. She didn't say I don't call this on the right thing. Sorry, but I'm going to call this on the right thing. You can call this. I know sometimes. Okay, 10 hours. Yeah, you only got that right. Come on, Ariel. You have to work. You don't have to work. Miss Santos. Miss Santos. Ariel will work with me.
You guys, this way and this way.
Oh, what? I have to work with him. Oh, I already played.
Alright, this is our one.
I know how to play. You have to put your player name. I forgot to put this. No, I did. So I put everything up. She said you have to do it. No, hey, I was right. Where? What's Miss Santos? What's this? That's the one we need. Oh, and what's the next one? But I'm going to take it because it doesn't have the multiplication back. Put that away. I didn't think it put this thing on. What are the cards? So this is 10. There we go. 0. Yes. Hey! You nailed. You can prioritize. I said 3. Yeah, now they're getting okay. This is what you're doing.
Everyone, when you guys go out.
Is it time?
No, you're letting your chair.
What? I guess he first. I said 9. No, it's time.
I'm telling you. I thought it was mine. You look. Right?
5 times 9.
We're not going to equal 0. 9 times 2. This is weird. That was my scroll. This is just my let's go first.
5 times 8. Get my number.
I was in last place. Bro, Ariella. I can't get to work.
Seven times
Okay, put the board in the middle. No, go
Seven times 7 is 49.
That's a spare. Oh! Thank you, Santos. That's just old math. 0. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm going up.
6 times 2.
0.
No, you got it red.
9 times 2 equals 8.
Oh, this guy got
You're like
it.
You're not doing so fell. 5 times 2 equals 10. 54.
You took my red, bro. 2 times 2 equals 8.
Oh my God. Whoa. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times
You would never take my old car.
I'm looking for one. These cards are hard. Oh, 5 times 8. 25. And that's 4. I win. You don't do that. You do it. That's it.
The easiest thing.
I like it. You said 5 times 9. You got very bad. Okay, go ahead. 12. 6, 12. Now it's your turn. 9 times 9. That's not we will say. 2 times 6 equals 27.
You're a cheater. What? Yeah, you are. You just dropped the point.
Let's go, stop.
You know it's back getting
Okay, we're gonna switch. So this center's gonna go there. You guys get this?
We get connected.
Are you cutting?
Wait, guys.
You guys are going down there.
Everybody get the biggest bag. Everybody get your Oh, that's 18. I gave him a dance can't be me. This one has Hey, you have to use your front card. What do you got? 32. So, killing your plus. Oh my god. Zero! No! No! I'm chicken. Wait. This would be a somebody join the game. Come on, Gail, go through your back. Beat that. Let's take the egg one on the back. Oh my god. Damn it, oh, you're killing me with that. It's not zero. That's six. You might win the other one. Okay, you win by 9. You just punched my brains out on 2 dead. I'm on 8 times. I think you won this one. You defeated my animal. Okay, come on. Animal on the map. Let me see. Hexagon. 0 point. Wait, I lost 0. Oh, you battle. Okay, take that. Why? You didn't put one in. I told
Let's see who's ready.
Then I just wrote you off. I got more. Let's see how much. That's what you don't even. Those have countries. You hard.
Okay, are we cleaning up?
I'm trying to get a bunch of cards and he used to everyone put the money. It's not money. Are you kidding
Help clean up.
I know. I'm coming. Look it up.
Gail, can you put that over there? Here, Kyrie. Wait, Kyrie.
Okay, it's me and you there. We're going to battle. Because we're the smartest, so we're supposed to now.
So you take it off.
And I'm on it. I just couldn't. And then the area.
Don't take important money. Don't take important money.
I want this. Miss Santos, do we have to eat food? Do we
I got big.
I want to make I got the knife. You want me Okay, stop it. Ready?
I left some presents on the
Go ahead and figure out. It's 5. That's times 5.
I left some presents on the
That's not 20. Okay. 7 times 5. Do it.
We'll mark my words, girl. Mark my words.
I want to know. Now I still keep doing what I'm supposed to do. Are you ready? 8 times 6. That's 40. That's 11. 11 times have a G. Well, I have a okay, come on. Lily. Do you like the stand with the better? No. Okay. Kick your friend. One. I didn't even want to 15. We got 30. Now, wait, I'm so far. Charles! I'm winning. You can't use the cards that you took from Let me just 9 times 1. Take 2. Ready? You ready? I need it, Harold, not. Give me two. I got a one. Come on. No, I got two. Hey. Give me the low. I only need one die. I got five people on my take that. I got two. And I rolled a zero. Look, if you get times two, I just put it down. You did three people. Put it there. 60. I feel like oh wow, this is my Okay, now we have a few minutes before we have to go to special, so we need to clean up. Clean up quietly. Yeah, I got a star. Actually, that was a girl. You're cheating.
Okay, I see Ryan is ready, John Carlos ready.
You want our center? No, we're not
John Carlos ready, Amy's ready, Jen is ready.
I'm ready.
Bryson, take a seat.
Is this on me? We're going to go more on TV. Oh, yeah. First 300. I found it. Yes. Wow.
Did you watch it away?
The parents left. You could have won.
Okay. Bryson, take a seat. Now, take a seat. Ariella, waiting.
Our team just got in first place.
I'm gonna wait. Still waiting. need you to put the centers, leave them in the middle at the center of your desk. You can close the computers, but don't lock off of it, just close them.
This one
And
locked
leave
out.
them on, you can
This
put
one
them
locked
on.
out. Pull too high, be quiet. Miss Amber.
Excuse me,
What?
turn around.
She acted like she wanted to
Turn
She's
around.
trying to take off her earrings.
Think that's yours. That's not ours. That's